What's up, guys? It's the Aussie Sim Commentator here, live from the Texas Motor Speedway for the Champs Speed Shop 150 here in race number 2 of round 3. Round 2, sorry. And that should not be that menu. I don't know what the hell is going on with that. Because that is definitely not the standings banner. That is the standings banner. That is the one that we want to see. Anyway, we're here for the Champs Speed Shop 150 from the Texas Motor Speedway, and we are just about to get ready for a little bit of a pit party here, I do believe. So let's join the participants. We're just starting to come out of the pits now. Looks like we're going to be kicking things off with the 88 of Jonathan Hernandez, who is going to have Evan Rice just behind him. You know, it's going to be Andrew Perkins. Evan Rice is still continuing on and around. At the moment, Chris Champeau in that 2 car starting inside second row is our fastest driver with a 28.555. That is a blistering quick time. And with our sponsor today being Champs Speed Shop, from now until 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, as we are often racing, till 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, you can get 10% off your order at Champs Speed Shop with code OUTPUT. So make sure you take advantage of that. Get yourself an Output Racing League shirt, because it is well worth the price of admission. As the 88 of Jonathan Hernandez takes the lead of the pit party. Obviously, if you're watching this back on YouTube, the sale is already over. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. As now Chris Champeau looking to take the inside of Jonathan Hernandez. There's a little bit of a whack to Hernandez's front left there. But no harm, no foul, play on. The 50 of Christian Budd moves up into the second place now. And the 48 of Andrew Perkins almost getting underneath Christian Budd there to take away second. Oh, as a 23, John Lozelle gets sideways. And that just took out a whole big bunch of people. Thomas Harmon was involved, the 90 of Michael Sturgill. I didn't see who else. As we have some more shenanigans with the 36 and the 13. Michael Watkins and Travis Massia. There's Andrew Perkins on screen. Underneath him is the 60 of Kyle Kraus. Chris Champeau is still leading the way. Jonathan Hernandez now makes his way back under Christian Budd. Take over the second, and now he's going to try and move on Chris Champeau. Got in the draft of Chris for just a second there. Shuffled him out wide, and that's all she wrote. Brian Pizzakemi now with the fast lap in practice. A 28.451 take away the top spot. See him there just behind these four, so he's effectively 5th. in the pit party. Oh, and a 50 Christian Bud escorted wide by the two of Chris Champeau there. That's allowed Brian Pizzacchemi to take over the third position for the pit party. So we have 23 people in the server, including myself. All 22 of the drivers have put down lap times. And there is only 0.405 separating the entire field. Fast time is a 28.451. Slow time is a 28.856. 0.405 is the difference. That time was set by Sam Niederhelm, the 22nd fastest time. Strength of field of everyone is a 27, which is definitely nothing to sneeze at. Means we have a really good, strong, quality field assembled here for today's race. I need to refill my Zippo. I do have cameras set to focus on crashes. That's why it is jumping between everyone. But it looks like it wants to focus on our leading four drivers here. Oh, Chris Champeau gets into the wall off turn 2. Gonna put a damper in his success from there. We have just under 15 minutes left in practice. These guys are going to start thinking about swapping from practicing their long run pace to practicing short run pace. But while we have the moment, we're going to go for a quick commercial break. We're going to come back and do a little bit of a crank it up here in practice. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Alrighty, we are back with less than 10 minutes left. Oh, Sam Niederhelm just got shuffled out by Kyle Kraus and Darren Sanchez. Obviously, the pit party's over now, so these guys are just having a bit of a run, having a little bit of fun. Thomas Harmon very lucky not to get taken out there by Jonathan Hernandez. Fizikemi still holding on to the fastest time of practice by just .013 over Christian Budd. 28.451 over 28.464. Travis Massier in third, Matt Horton fourth, and Blake Maddies in fifth. Thomas Harmon down in 13th at the moment. 0.147 off the pace. But I would hazard a guess that Thomas is trying to save his tyres more than anything. As we have Blake Maddies and Frank Isaacson having a little bit of a blue there on the back straight. But now is the time where drivers will start thinking about practicing their long runs, or finishing off their long run practice, practicing their pit stops, then strapping a new set of rubber onto the tyres, onto the car, and going out for some qualifying runs. See what they can do against the time clock. Don't forget, guys, today is Champs Speedshop 150 here from the Texas Motor Speedway. If you go to Champs Speedshop right now, use code OUTPUT, you can get 10% off until 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It looks like most people are actually practicing coming into the pits, unless they're about to do another pit party, which is also very possible. Yeah, pretty much everyone's coming in, so it must be a pit party that's going on here. Everyone is on the pit lane. This is just so everyone can compare their PP size. Looks like we're all lined up. Pretty sure it's going to be the 48 of Andrew Perkins on the pole. So he's going to be the control car. They're off and racing. Oh, Matt Burgess getting onto the grass, trying to do a pass in the grass, and it worked. As he pushes 78 Brian Fizikemi through the corner. Oh, looks like Andrew Perkins in the wall. Frank Isaacson, nowhere to go. Drills him from behind. Oh, and there are some shenanigans as the 81 of Corey Williamson goes around. There is a 9 of Matt Horton on screen. He's currently in 6th position, 0.065 off the lead. Ropers Academy still on top. A 1/10 of a second separates the entire top 10. We're going to go to a commercial break as these guys are going to start heading into qualifying now. When we come back, find out who's going to be positioned where. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Alrighty guys, we are back. Qualifying has been complete, and now it is time for the drivers to start getting onto the grid so we can get this race going. Starting on the pole is going to be the 50 car of Christian Bud with a 28.505. So you guys know the entire field that qualified up to 16th, separated by 0.355 of a second. P2 is going to go to the 6 of Evan Rice. P3, the 27 of Jonathan Bell. P4 will be the 8 of Blake Maddies. P5 will be the 88 of Jonathan Hernandez. P6 will be the 2 car of Chris Champeau, with P7 being the 21 of Brian Chambliss. P8 will be the 90 of Michael Sturgill, with P10 being the 12 of Matt Burgess. We're going to have Thomas Harmon in the 38 in 10th position. And in 11th is going to be the 23 of John Lozelle, 12th the 60 of Kyle Kraus, 13th the 13 of Travis Massier, 14th the 36 of Michael Watkins, 15th the 28 of Zach Floyd, 16th the 48 of Andrew Perkins, 17th the 24 of Frank Isaacson, 18th the 4 of Jaron Sanchez, 19th the 9 of Matt Horton, 20th position will be the 78 of Brian Pizzakemi. Sam Niederhelm in the 66 will be out of 21st. Corey Williamson out of 22nd in the 81 car. And last but not least, Mark Pentecoff, if he can make it to the grid, will be starting off the 23rd slot. 24 people in this server, including myself. Strength of field, a 27.05. And now the cars start rolling onto the track. $100 laps here for the Champs Speed Shop 150, live from the Texas Motor Speedway. Remember, if you go to Champs Speed Shop right now until 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, get 10% off your order with code OUTPUT. One word, OUTPUT. So go and pick yourself up an Output Racing shirt now. Because it's more than just a league, it's a dysfunctional family. Pace car is in. First start on green, all restarts on the leader. And we are off and racing here for the Champs Speed Shop 150. Live and exclusive from the Texas Motor Speedway. And already Blake Maddies is experimenting with alternate dimensions. That's going to be scary considering he started from the 4th position. And this has allowed everyone in the inside lane to gain a huge advantage. Everyone on the outside lane there behind Blake got shafted. And Mark Pentecoff decided that he wanted to start from the pits. His crew was making some last minute adjustments to the car. And they failed to get it onto the dummy grid in time. But the 50 of Christian Budd is going to come across the line to lead the first lap of the race. You got the 6 of Evan Rice in P2, the 27 of Jonathan Bell in 3rd, with the 88 of Jonathan Hernandez in the 4th position. And I swear I just heard some contact from through the field. I don't know who or where. But you can see the first battle here involves the 12 and the 2. That is Matt Burgess and Chris Champeau. They're just behind the 21 of Brian Chambliss. And it's fairly 2x2 behind these guys as well. So I'll have to keep an eye on this little battle, see how things unfold. Looks like Chris Champeau not getting the greatest of runs through 1 and 2 here. Starting to fall back into the clutches of Michael Sturgill as we have a battle for the lead. Evan Rice takes it from the 50 of Christian Budd going into turn 3. We're almost going 3 wide. Jonathan Bell almost forcing that situation, thinks better of it. It looks like the 88 of Jonathan Hernandez now looking to take away the second position from Christian Budd. And he's going to get there, and he's also going to challenge for the lead as he pulls up onto the inside of Evan Rice coming out of turn 2. Jonathan Bell right on his tailbone, and Jonathan Hernandez takes the lead of this race. Jonathan Bell trying to fight for that second position now. Christian Budd slots himself on the inside line in 4th. And the battle that was a little bit behind our leading 4 has now caught up to our leading 4. Got 3 wide. And more 3 wide as now Christian Budd on the inside of Jonathan Bell and Evan Rice. And that is a tight battle right there. Evan Rice still on the outside of this 3 wide situation. It's scary going through the tri-oval. Car can get fairly unsettled in those quick little changes of direction. But now it is all sorted out, and Chris Champeau finds himself in the 4th position, just nosing ahead of Evan Rice. Christian Budd trying to take 2nd place back away from Jonathan Bell. He gets there, and Jonathan slips into the 3rd position as the other Jonathan of Jonathan Hernandez starts to extend his lead a bit with everyone battling behind him. Looks like John Lozelle, who started a bit down the pack there, started in 11th, moved his way up into P6. So that is a nice little gain of position for him. As looks like we've got some more battling going on at the front of the pack. We're back to looking at our leaders. It looked like Christian Budd was about to try and attempt to move around the outside of Jonathan Hernandez. Couldn't get that move made. And now he's trying to defend from the 27 of Jonathan Bell. Trying to take that 2nd place back away. It looks like he's going to get there in turn 4. Jonathan Hernandez leading the way at the moment. Been unchallenged since he hit the front. No one can seem to get underneath him. Jonathan Bell not exactly battling too hard to try and take the lead away. Just kind of sitting there at the moment, biding his time. You see there, Jonathan Bell taking a wider arc into the corner. Trying to get the better exit. He is pushing Jonathan Hernandez at the moment down the back straight. And they both just missed the corner entry there a little bit, but I don't think it's going to affect them that terribly badly because they're still towards the inside of the track. With a little bit of late apex action, that's some road racing stuff right there. And Christian Budd has been shuffled back to 4th. After sitting on pole and leading this race for the first lap and a bit. Evan Rice sitting there in 3rd. And here comes Jonathan Bell now on Jonathan Hernandez trying to take the lead away. And he gets it in turn 1. I think Hernandez let him have that one. Looks like we're also starting to catch up to the 5 of Mark Pentecup, who, as I alluded to earlier, started from the pits. Oh, in the background. 24, Frank Isaacson got very loose coming out of turn 2 there. Looks like he managed to hold on to the automobile without hitting anything, so that's good. Car doesn't look too bad. Let's hope he can see some improvement after that scary moment. Go back up towards the front. It's still Jonathan Bell from Jonathan Hernandez, Evan Rice, and Christian Budd, with Chris Champeau sitting there in 5th. Looks like Thomas Harmon not exactly lighting up the timetables here. Currently sitting back in the 10th position. He's making slow progress through the field, but he could be trying to save his tires a little bit while he goes. And it doesn't look like Hernandez actually has anything for Bell here. Bell's just kind of been keeping this gap at a solid little distance. And I think Hernandez might have used up his tires a little bit too much when he was in the lead earlier. Because not only is he not exactly catching up to Bell here, that gap is just getting slightly bigger every single lap. Sorry about that. I was having an issue with one of my overlays that I had to go fix real quick. Wasn't an overlay you guys could see, it's an overlay that I can see. And this gap has come right down now. Jonathan Hernandez must have found something that Jonathan Bell lost. And now he's going to make the move going into turn 3. But these two have been very nicely pulling away from the rest of the field. But Jonathan Bell trying to fight back on the outside there at turn 4. He's not going to let this lead go lightly. It doesn't look like he's going to have a choice coming into 1 and 2 this time. Now he concedes to second position, pushing Hernandez down the back straight and looking for that slightly wider arc into 3 and 4. But we've now caught up to the first of the soon-to-be lapped cars, which is the 5 of Mark Pentecoff. Remember, Mark started from the pits after his crew was making some last-minute setup changes to the automobile. There goes Mark. He's trying to get out of the way. Runs the high line to allow the leaders through. Oh, and now Jonathan Bell back up the inside of Jonathan Hernandez. He forced that a little bit with the distraction from the 5 of Mark Pentecoff. Evan Rice now on the back of Mark Pentecoff. He's caught up to these two a little bit. He doesn't like a little bit of lap car intervention. See Mark starting to fall through the field here now. At one point, that gap between second and third was out to nearly a full second. Now it's down to just 0.2 of a second. Now things are just kind of settling down. Possible that we could see pit stops soon. I don't think we will, but it's possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a quick commercial break now, and when we come back, we should be just about getting ready to start getting some green flag pit stops. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Alright, we are back. And this 2-horse race has now become a 4-horse race. Jonathan Bell still leading the way, but now it is from the 6 of Evan Rice, who has taken over that second position from Jonathan Hernandez. Just behind Hernandez is going to be the 50 of Christian Budd. Now I do believe that Evan and Jonathan Bell are not in the chase for the championship. So all of everything right now is on Hernandez and Bud to prove the dominance of the chase drivers. Currently, they're sitting in the lower half of this top four. But surprisingly, Thomas Harmon only gained 3 positions since the last time we checked up on him, but pit stops are underway. Did a 90 to 13 to 24 and to 81 all on pit road. Our leaders stay out another lap. In comes the 12 of Matt Burgess. I think we'll see the 48 of Andrew Perkins coming in as well. Our leader came in there. That was Jonathan Bell in the 27. Trying to get the undercut. The 2 of Chris Champeau was in. So was the 4 of Aaron Sanchez. The 6 of Evan Rice has taken the lead from Christian Budd and Jonathan Hernandez. This pace keeps up, they're going to have to make 2 stops in this race. As now the 21 of Brian Chambliss heads into the pits. And so does the 8 of Blake Maddies. First, second, third still sitting on track. That's Evan Rice, Christian Budd, and Jonathan Hernandez. John Lozelle now sits in 4th. And our leading car who was pitted is Jonathan Bell, and he's in 11th. Oh, I heard disaster and mayhem there. Not sure who that was, but I think if we look at the back of 38 car here, we might see damage possibly. Oh yes, we do. Let's see what happened to Thomas coming into the pits here. So he's got the 28 Zach Floyd behind him. Oh, Zach did not realize that Harmon was pitting. Harmon now comes out of the pits. Christian Budd has come into the pits. Let's have a look at the 28 car. There he is. He's just come into the pits. And there is a lot of damage on that automobile. Go back to looking at our leader now, though. And now Evan Rice comes to the pits. That's going to leave Jonathan Hernandez in the lead. Now Hernandez is in the pits. I think Kyle Kraus came into the pits as well, so Jonathan Bell is going to reassume the lead here, possibly. Have a look at where Jonathan Bell is. There he is with Chris Champeau on his tail. Expected first and second right now. In fact, that is going to be first and second, full stop. Jonathan Hernandez falling from grace. Evan Rice in P9, Christian Budden P8. They do have fresher tyres, though, than the people around them. And Jonathan Hernandez is out of the pits now, and he is all the way down in 12th position. As now the two of Chris Champeau looking to make a move on the 27 of Jonathan Bell. And he makes that move easily into 1 and 2. That is going to put the 2 car in the lead. Jonathan Bell trying to fight back on the outside, not going to be able to do it this time by. Notice Jonathan Bell likes taking a really wide arc into turn 1. Awesome to see the different moves and how they're trying to pull them off. Michael Sturgill sitting in third, Matt Burgess in fourth. Those two are about to swap around. Matt Burgess taking over the third position from Sturgill. Don't forget, guys, go to Champ Speedshop right now and use code OUTPUT and get 10% off until 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Obviously, this offer is invalid if you're watching this back on YouTube. This is for the live broadcast on Twitch only. It pays to come and watch the live broadcast. We're going to go to another quick commercial break here. And when we come back, we're going to crank it up. So make sure you guys stay tuned. And we are back just in time for a big battle for the lead to start forming here. 50 of Christian Budd, the 6 of Evan Rice, and the 88 of Jonathan Hernandez have all caught up to our leaders, Chris Champeau and 27 of Jonathan Bell. And here goes Christian Budd to the inside of Jonathan Bell now, trying to take away the lead. And it looks like he's going to have that move made easily coming off of turn 2. Those fresher tyres definitely looking the goods right now. And Jonathan Hernandez has the freshest of the 5. During the commercial break, fairly early in the commercial break, Jonathan Bell actually made the move on Chris Champeau to take the lead away, and now we're just humming along nicely. And everyone else decided to come and spoil the party. So welcome back to the Champ Speed Shop 150 here from the Texas Motor Speedway. Use code OUTPUT at the checkout of the Champ Speed Shop, and you can get yourself 10% off until 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Offer only available to the live Twitch broadcast. So now Evan Rice in the lead, but here comes Jonathan Hernandez looking to the inside of Evan now. Jonathan Bell also trying to fight back to take away the 3rd spot from Christian Budd. Still Chris Champeau still just lurking there in the background. But very shortly he could have a problem from John Lazelle in the 23 car. As now Jonathan Hernandez moves underneath Evan Rice to take away the lead, as Christian Budd moved underneath Jonathan Bell to take away 3rd. Jonathan Bell looking to fight back there. Christian Budd, ooh, that was cheeky. He moved twice. Now Evan Rice making a move back on the lead. Almost some door-to-door contact there as Al going through turn 4. This is exciting racing right now. And here comes John Lazelle to join the party as well. This is now a 6-car battle for the lead of this race. Evan Rice now trying to get back underneath Jonathan Hernandez to take the lead away. Evan Rice leads that lap. We've had no cautions so far throughout this race. 40.5 laps left to run. Remember, everyone has to make at least one more stop, as Evan Rice got a little bit unsettled there in the middle of 3 and 4. Just about took out the door of Jonathan Hernandez. Hernandez actually officially leading that lap. And remember, Jonathan Hernandez does have the freshest tyres of all these drivers in the top 6. Chris Champeau and Jonathan Bell have the oldest tyres. John Lazelle pitted on the same lap as Christian Budd. And he's actually looking quite pacey here at the moment. But Chris Champeau starting to drop off from the back of this pack. But still a side-by-side race for the lead here. It's absolutely incredible to watch. These guys have been side by side for like 3 or 4 laps now. As the 8 of Blake Matties makes his last green flag pit stop here. We're going to open up the radio waves and see if we can hear what these drivers are talking about.
Oh, those 3.
As they're still side by side coming across the line. It's going to be like the 4th lap that they've been side by side. Possibly more. But we'll just call it 4 for now. Jonathan Hernandez with a big run coming out of turn 2. We pull back side by side with Evan Rice. Evan just caught the apron there a little bit in the middle of 3 and 4. But it's advantage Hernandez as they've gone 5 laps side by side now. This is not doing either of them any favours. In fact, the 2 of Chris Champeau, who I said was falling off the back of this pack, is actually now back into this pack. Oh, Jonathan Bell almost looking like he wanted to make that 3 wide going into turn 3. Blocked off by Evan Rice. This is now 6 laps side by side for the 6 and the 88. Jonathan Bell looking really racy right now, wanting to try and make it 3 wide so he can take the lead away from both of them. And John Lazelle now taken to the outside line around the outside of Jonathan Bell. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the same kind of pace as the 88 Jonathan Hernandez, so he can't hold it out there. This is now 7 laps of side-by-side racing for the lead. And they're going to have to start dealing with lap traffic. There's Blake Matties on the apron coming out of the pits. But coming up, they got the 24 of Frank Isaacson. As the 88 pulls his nose ahead going through turn 3. The 6 brings his nose back in front coming out of 4. And it looks like that is going to be a big advantage to the 6 as they went for 7 laps side by side, or was it 8? I don't know. I lost count. I was too excited by the race. And now the battle is on for second. The 6 of Evan Rice clean and clear in the lead. 88 Jonathan Hernandez now trying to hold off the 27 of Jonathan Bell. So it's a Jonathan versus Jonathan show right now. If they had the same last name, then this would be a battle of the inner mind, one would assume. And it looks like Hernandez takes the advantage coming out of turn 2. He's been getting such a good run off that outside line in turn 2. And he takes the second place with authority. Defends it well. Now he's going to have to start charging after Evan Rice again. Running that white line on the inside of the track was Jonathan Hernandez that time. Making it look easy. When's he going to pop out to try and make the move? Not this time. Tucks in behind Evan Rice. The strategy is at play. And remember, these guys still have to make one more stop for fuel. This is a 7-car pack. Only 6 of them are for position. The car number 8, which is on the back of this pack, is not for position. As John Lazelle now going the nose to Jonathan Bell. Lazelle entering 3, but I think Lazelle might actually be pitting this time. He is.
2 pitting this time.
He's heard it there. The 2 of Chris Champeau is going to come in this time. Now it's going to be up to the rest of the leaders to see when they pit.
Pitting this time.
We're leaving the radio open here so we can hear what's going on. But it's definitely been surprising that there's been no cautions in this race. And if one were to come out now, it definitely mixed things up as Jonathan Hernandez tempted Evan Rice into a big block, and that is going to push Evan Rice up the track and allow Hernandez to get to his inside. Will we go side by side for another 8 laps in a row? We'll have to wait and see. It doesn't look like we are. Evan Rice just doesn't quite have that momentum gain on the outside that Jonathan Hernandez did. as the 48 of Andrew Perkins comes out of the pits in front of them. Oh no! He's just ruined the run for these guys. But with these fresher tyres, he's going to pull away now. But that was almost a major race implication right there. Now, Andrew Perkins did nothing wrong in that situation. He was just coming out of the pits. He was staying on the low line to stay out of the way. He knew that once he got up to speed, he was going to pull away from these guys. They probably just caught him a little bit faster than he was expecting. As Evan Rice now looking to the inside of Jonathan Hernandez. This will probably be the situation where we see them go side by side for 8 laps. But it's not. Hernandez with the crossback touches the apron a little bit. And I think Jonathan Bell's going to be pitting this time from the 3rd position. No, he's not. I thought he was, but he's not.
Blake, are you on tires?
Pitting this time, Brian. Pitting this time. Pitting in.
It looks like Evan Rice now taking the advantage. Let's stay quiet there so we can let some of these radio calls come through. Here when some of these drivers are coming in, of course the drivers do have communication between each other. And don't forget, guys, with today's sponsor being Champ Speedshop, if you go to Champ Speedshop right now, use code OUTPUT at checkout, you get 10% off until 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Christian, I'm coming in right now.
Jonathan Bell has now pitted from 3rd, but still Evan Rice, Jonathan Hernandez and Christian Budd in the lead of this. When we get to the start-finish line, we'll only have 20 laps left to run in this race. If we get a caution right now, this race will be turned on its head. As the 50 and the 88 come into the pits this time, Evan Rice is out all on his lonesome now. To see if that helps or hinders him. As I said before, realistically, this has been a 5-car race for the win. And Evan's not pitting. Evan's staying out. We'll have to wait and see if Evan pits this time, and no. Evan wants those fresher tyres for later in the run. We've seen it work out after the first green flag stops. But will it work out this time? Because there's going to be a lot less time for him to try and make up those positions. 23, John Lazelle, looking to his inside. These guys are getting their laps back from him right now. John Lazelle is actually the first of the cars who has pitted for tyres. And this will be helping Evan a little bit, because he'll be getting the draft from these guys on the fresher tyres, and that'll be improving his times here a little bit. But also, when he gets offline just like that, it'll hurt him severely. as the 4 of Darren Sanchez, who is now 2 laps down, gets one of his laps back. And Evans pitting this time. So this leaves Kyle Kraus now in the lead of this race, who is still yet to pit as well. Kyle last pitted on lap 43. So the law of averages says he'll probably pit this time or next time around. So let's not look at him. Let's have a look at the 23 of John Lozelle, who is effectively the leader of the race right now. Where's Evan coming out?
Chambers.
Evan is back on track,
You're
and
good.
he is
I didn't have anywhere
down
to go.
in the 11th position. At the moment, the leader of the race is the 23 of Lozelle, because the 60 of Kyle Kraus has pitted. P2 is the 2 of Chris Champeau. But Jaron Sanchez just behind these guys, who is now 1 lap down. And if he can manage to get around Lozelle and Champeau, he'd be back on the lead lap. Or alternatively, if we get a late race caution here, Jaron Sanchez will be the lucky dog recipient. Oh, it was the 2 of Chris Champeau. We saw it in practice. We just saw it here in the race. Got tight coming off the turn 2. Ran it into the wall. That'll affect the handling of that automobile for the rest of this race. And Jonathan Hernandez and Jonathan Bell are on a charge right now. They're in 3rd and 4th. They're only 4.5 seconds behind right now.
Super warpy, Blake. Super warp.
As now the 4 of Jaron Sanchez gets underneath the 2 of Chris Champeau. He doesn't want to be caught behind Chris if Chris hits the wall again. But what a run by today's sponsor, Chris Champeau, sitting in 2nd at the moment. They'll be hoping that they can hold on to it, but... Oh, we got a caution! And the caution is for the 88 of Jonathan Hernandez. You got to be kidding. Alright, let's back this up, see what happens. So this is going into turn 1. He's battling Jonathan Bell. Jonathan, oh, he tried to get to the inside, and Hernandez was trying to block it off a little bit. Bell did nothing wrong there. And Hernandez just goes sideways, slides back up the track. Those new tires are absolutely stuffed now. Oh!
Hurry around, guys. Go, 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 go.
Tapped by the 12 of Matt Burgess as well. And that crash has major championship implications. And it looks like Hernandez giving up the ghost there. So guys, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to see how everything fans out after the pit stop cycle here. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Alrighty guys, we are back. Leader of the race at the moment is going to be the 60 of Kyle Kraus. Elected not to pit under the caution. Pitted 5 laps out. P2 is Evan Rice, P3 Chris Champeau, P4 John Lazelle, and P5 Jonathan Bell. My dark horse pick to get into the final four of Burgess might not be looking so likely now. Hoping for next week when we go to Martinsville. Still on 1 to green here. Couple cars that are going to get paper rounds. One of them being the 4 of Jaron Sanchez, the other one being the 24 of Frank Isaacson. Now get waved around with the 1 to green. Bring Frank Isaacson back onto the lead lap. Make Jaron Sanchez 1 lap down. There we go. It's going to be Kyle Kraus, Evan Rice, Chris Champeau, John Lazelle, Jonathan Bell, Christian Budd, Brian Chambliss, Michael Sturgill, Travis Masia, and Brian Pizzakemi, your top 10. And Matt Horton, Andrew Perkins, Thomas Harmon, Sam Niederhelm, Michael Watkins, and Frank Isaacson wrap up your lead lap cars to 16th. Jaron Sanchez 1 lap down. Matt Burgess currently off the track. Corey Williamson is 3 laps down. Mark Pentecoff is 3 laps down. And Jonathan Hernandez in the pits. Alright, so the restart is on the leader. This is our first restart this race. And we're going to have 7 laps left to run. And we're off and racing as the 60 of Kyle Kraus gets a good jump there coming off of the front row. 6 of Evan Rice getting a pretty good jump as well, holding on to the 2nd position. Chris Champeau sneaking his way up into 3rd underneath of John Lazelle. 50 of Christian Budd is there as well, sitting in 4th. And Chris Champeau going very defensive against Christian Budd there, going into 3. That almost opened up the door for Lazelle to get back underneath of Christian Budd. And it looks like the 6 of Evan Rice trying to take the outside lane around the 60 car of Kyle Kraus, who was very defensive on the inside himself on his slightly older tyres. And Evan Rice takes the lead. Chris Champeau is going to go to the inside now into 3. Kraus running very wide. They're going to go 3 wide with Christian Budd. I think that's Michael Sturgill now on his inside. But the battle is for the front of the pack right now. Who is going to take the win? Got 5 to go. 4.5 this time. John Lazelle all the way down to the apron to get to the inside of Chris Champeau there. And Chris Champeau now going to lose some positions. Don't forget, this is a Champ Speedshop 150 from the Texas Motor Speedway. Use code OUTPUT in checkout till 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time tonight to get yourself a discount. 10% off. Evan Rice is in the lead of this race from John Lazelle, who has been having an excellent run here. Jonathan Bell trying to take away third from Chris Champeau. Michael Sturgill up in the mix as well. We haven't seen him all night. But here he is trying to make the move for fourth. As John Lozelle looking to try and take the outside of Evan Rice. It's not going to work out for him this time. In fact, that's just opened the door up for Jonathan Bell to try and get to his inside. Doesn't actually do it this time. Side by side, Chris Champeau and Michael Sturgill there for the fourth position still. And Brian Chambliss making a move up here as well. We haven't seen him all night either. John Lozelle now getting shuffled down as the 27 of Jonathan Bell has worked his way to the inside. We've got a lap and a half left to run in this race. Evan Rice is controlling it at the moment. It's going to take a big move to get around him from here. Coming out of turn 4 for the penultimate time as they get to the start finish line. White flag, last lap, last chance to win it or wear it for Evan Rice. And what a battle this is. The late race caution has definitely provided some action here for us here this evening. But Evan Rice from a clean and clear. Jonathan Bell now in second. Michael Sturgill trying to take third away. But that is inconsequential because in the lead is the 6 of Evan Rice coming out of turn 4. He's going to be unchallenged. It's going to be Evan Rice from Jonathan Bell. Michael Sturgill in third. What a way to end this race.
God damn it.
That was incredible racing right there to end this race. As Jonathan Hernandez gets back onto the track, 9 laps down. So he can finish off this race here. There it is, he's just crossed the line. Everyone has finished. And now it's time, if you're a tier 2 subscriber to the Twitch channel, let's see those burnout emotes in chat. If not, let's just get some hype for the 6 of Evan Rice. As the camera decided to pan away. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we will have driver interviews, so make sure you stay tuned. All right, guys, so welcome back. And it's time for the driver interviews here from the Champ Speed Shop 150, the Texas Motor Speedway. And we're kicking things off as per normal with our Hard Charger Award winner. And today's Hard Charger, who started from, what was it, 11th and ended up finishing in the fourth position with what was a pretty wicked drive there towards the end. Of course, talking to the 23 car of John Lazelle. John, you definitely have one of the more interesting names to pronounce, and it's a lot of fun saying it. But let's talk about your drive here, man. You did a wicked job, not only just carving your way through the field, but picking the right strategy towards the end there to make sure you're up towards the front.
Yeah, I was seeing at the when we pitted the first time and like how long it took to get around and everything. I figured, if I pit with like 30 laps to go, it should put me in the front and make it. Hopefully, they getting stuck in traffic and maybe towards the last 10 laps, I have a chance at winning. That's what I was thinking. And I'd like to thank Output Racing for letting me in the league late in the season. I really appreciate that. But that was my strategy. I was gonna pit on lap 70 and see if I could catch these guys, 5, 10 seconds ahead. But all these guys are really good, so it was hard to do.
And there was that little bit of a reset there within the final 10 laps when we had that late race caution. What was the mindset for you when the caution came out, and how did the restart affect how you ended up finishing here?
Well, I believe I started outside, so that's not a very good position here. And then I was running outside, and I got a pretty good start. I felt, and then I was able to, I think on the last 2 laps, 3 laps, I was able to get on the outside of one guy, and then I was able to pass him. I was in second for a couple laps, and then I had a really good run coming off of three towards the end there. And I'm like, I wonder if I could get him on the outside and try to pin him to the inside, and it didn't work out. Everybody just ran over me after that, and I just stayed. I just ran my hardest to stay as best as possible in top five. That's what I was shooting for after that happened.
Well, you definitely did that and then some with your fourth place finish here today, which I do believe is one of your better results here since you've joined us this season. How have you been enjoying your time here with the Output Racing League so far? And do you think it's helped improve you as a driver?
Oh, most definitely. I really enjoy this league. It's really fun. All the guys are really competitive, but at the same time, they're not trying to wreck you. They're gonna race you hard, but at the same time, I think they know if you're a faster car, they're just gonna let you go after a little bit of racing hard with you. But everybody seems really nice. I really enjoy the league. I'm really appreciative Jaron let me join the league, and I'm thankful for that.
All right, man. Well, before we let you go, when you want to give a quick shout out to here today?
I'll give a shout out to my daughter Scarlett.
All right. Well, thank you very much, John. Congratulations on the Hard Charger Award and on getting P4 here today. Forward to seeing you again next week when we go to Martinsville.
Not my best track, but thank you, Corey.
All right, guys. So that was today's Hard Charger, the 23 car of John Lazelle. And what a great finish that was for him. Now, I'm just going to bring up the schedule to make sure I'm not wrong, and it is actually Martinsville next. Pretty sure we've only got 2 races left, and it's Martinsville and Phoenix. And I am right. So coming up next, we got our third place getter today. And he was fairly quiet for the majority of the race. But once that final caution came out, he was up front where he needed to be. Of course, we are talking to the 90 car of Michael Sturgill. Michael, very quiet race from you here today, man. You were mid pack for the majority of the race, but you were there when it counted.
Yeah. I'm not real great at Texas, so top three is this is almost as good as a win. I'll definitely take it.
Well, it was definitely an interesting little finish there with everyone being all packed up. The only caution of the race coming out very late, and definitely provided some action there in those final few laps.
Oh yeah, definitely. Try to get past Brian and Bud, and then I got behind Bell, and he was running low all the way around. I just stuck to his rear bumper and stayed with him and hoped for the best.
Right, we're now having a look at the standings right now. You are tied for second with Thomas Harmon, 8 points off the lead of Christian Budd, and 15 points in front of the cutoff line, which is currently occupied by Brian Chambliss. You reckon you pretty much got your position in the top four sealed up from here, or do you still have to be a bit careful next week when we go to Martinsville?
I mean, I'm definitely gonna be careful at Martinsville, but I honestly thought I was gonna finish like around 10th. I think the only playoff driver behind me tonight was Harmon, like in the actual race. So I thought I was gonna have some making up to do at Martinsville, and this takes that pressure off. But still gonna be careful. Try to get a good finish there too.
All right, man. Um, Before I let you go, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to here tonight?
Shout out to my dad for always watching these. Shout out to the Billies. Even though Billy has not been spotting for me lately, but he's with me in spirit and I miss him. And shout out to you for broadcasting this thing, and shout out to the admins for putting this on.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Michael. And hopefully you can get your Billy back to you for the final race of the season where it's going to matter the most.
Definitely.
All right, guys. So that was today's third place getter, the 90 car of Michael Sturgill, and what was an excellent finish to the race there. Coming up next, we're going to have the International Man of Controversy as far as bringing out that caution is concerned. We're, of course, talking today's second place getter, Mr. Jonathan Bell. Jonathan, before we get to the incident, talk about the race early on. You and Hernandez pretty much had the early half of the race sewn up quite nicely with you guys being fairly dominant towards the front of the pack there.
Yeah, I was kind of trying to work with them. He kind of got underneath me, past me, and I had a couple of runs because that's what this package, you get a ton of runs. And so instead of passing him, I just kind of pushed him, try to get us a gap between Christian and Evan. We had almost about a second, and then the tires kind of came in, and I was a little faster. Couldn't really tell if I was faster than him because it was just the draft, but then we ended up evening out. But yeah, it was a lot of fun early on.
It definitely looked like a lot of fun out there, especially with the way the draft kept the pack as a pack. But let's swing through past the 2 rounds of green flag stops, and let's talk about what happened, man. You and Hernandez fighting it out hard there for position, and then it all just went wrong.
Yeah, I knew because I knew Chris was pitted about 10 laps before, so we were gonna get him eventually. So I knew that race was me and him was for the lead basically. And just the way it works, I went through the tribal and I thought I was underneath them in the cockpit and how racing works, and I just on my screen I was right underneath them, and it just kind of I didn't even get any incidents until he was sideways and started wrecking. I didn't know was the last person I wanted to wreck, and I feel terrible, but it was. I understand that I'm not a playoff guy or anything like that, but I also felt like I was one of, if not the fastest car out there. So I felt like I could have won that race, and I just needed to get in front of Hernandez and run my line. But it's just the way racing works. I didn't mean to wreck him, and I just feel terrible about it, basically.
Well, it's definitely an incident that has caused some major championship implications and has dropped out of the top four, which is not ideal. But you know, it's just the way it goes sometimes, right?
Yeah, that's kind of bothering me. I kind of wasn't really thinking at that point, but at the same time, I'm not gonna roll over and you know slow myself down just so they can race it out. And I knew he was kind of maybe gonna block it, but it kind of just I guess racing happens. I mean, you can look from both sides. Maybe he could have gave me the room and got underneath them and let me by, or then passed me later. But just stuff happens, and you know, it felt bad that now he's got a basically must-win situation heading into Martinsville.
There's more than that. It's not even just a must win, it's a must win. Everyone else must have a horrible time. Because his finishing position in the race was 21st. And he's currently sitting points off of the cutoff. No,
Yeah.
8 points. 8 points off the cutoff line.
Yeah, that's what kind of is bothering me a little bit. I didn't mean to, like, at the time, like I said, at the time I was underneath them, but checking the replay, and I just basically just shows me running them over, and that's honestly not what happened on my end. I was underneath them, but I just nothing I could do about it now. Thinking about it, I could have lifted it. You know, a lot of things could have went differently, but I also knew it was for the win. You know, if it was for fifth or sixth, it's a completely different story. But I knew that that battle was basically for the win, so I had to give it everything with about 15 to go.
All right. Before we let you go here, Jonathan, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to here tonight?
And just a shout out to you guys, you, Jaron, and you guys for always, you know, putting up the server every week and broadcasting and letting us put on a show for everyone that's watching at home.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming out, Jonathan. Congratulations on second place. And we look forward to seeing what you can do next week at Martinsville.
Yeah, thank you, Corey.
All right, guys. So that was today's second place getter, 27 car of Mr. Jonathan Bell. Coming up next, we have got our hard fought victor of this race, Camp Speedshop 150 here from the Texas Motor Speedway. And what a close victory it was. Close, hard, fast battling there towards the end of the race. But today's winner, of course, the 6 of Evan Rice. Evan, could you say your win today was attributed to that awesome restart you got off the outside of the front row?
Yeah, I was kind of nervous about starting on the outside on that final restart, but luckily I got a better restart than third, and so I was able to get to the bottom by turn one. So that helped a lot, and then I knew the 60 was on much older tires, so as long as he didn't slide up into me, I would be able to go around his outside, and that's what I did. And I was able to just block really for the last 4 or 5 laps and hang on.
Well, you definitely didn't have an easy time blocking there at the end of the race because they were too wide and you were effectively blocking off both lanes there for the majority of those final 7 laps. What's that like as a driver, trying to block off both lanes to make sure no one can try and get around you?
Yeah, it's pretty tense. I mean, the main thing you have to do is just hug the bottom because obviously it's a lot faster in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, even though they're completely different corners. The bottom is just what you have to is what's just what you have to block, and so it was just a combination of hugging the bottom through the quad oval, and there were some times I had a big enough gap off of two where I could just I just ran where the guy behind me wasn't, so he didn't have the draft. But yeah, it was mainly just about protecting the bottom.
Now let's talk about early in the race. You guys were all scuffling pretty hard for the lead early on. What was it like having a nice, close, hard, fast battle throughout the majority of the race and no cautions?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun with Christian and Jonathan Bell, and especially Jonathan Hernandez. It's a shame he got wrecked at the end there. He probably deserved the top 2 or 3 finish at the very least, so that sucks for him. I had a lot of fun with him. I think we were door to door for at least 6 or 7 laps straight at one point, so that was pretty crazy. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And no incidents really. So I mean, I think that's just a product of uh, racing with these guys all season, and there's mutual respect between us all. So I put on a good show.
Good show, it definitely was. But let's have a look at next week, man. Going to probably one of the hardest short tracks on the schedule with it being the Martinsville Speedway, what's the feeling like for you, especially since you need to get some points?
Yeah. I'm pretty comfortable heading into Martinsville. I had a really bad race at Kansas last week after getting tapped in the left rear going into 3, and I had 40 seconds of damage for the entire race. And there were no cautions, so I only finished like 14th. So I lost a lot at Kansas. So this win was exactly what I needed. Since now there's only one race left in the round, so I think if I just the goal of Martinsville is probably just to keep the car clean. I'm pretty confident in my speed there. So it'll just be keeping the car clean and not getting involved in any wrecks, and we'll see where that takes us.
All right, so having a look at the points right now, man, you are sitting in 5th, 1 point behind Brian Chambliss. So you are 16 points off the lead. He's 15 points off the lead. Does that affect how hard you're going to be racing when you find Chambliss in front of you at Martinsville?
Um, I'm certainly not gonna just wreck the guy, obviously, but I probably won't be thinking about racing specific people until it comes down to the end of the race, because I feel like Martinsville uh there's gonna be a few cautions, so there's gonna be um strategy probably won't play as much of a role as it has in the mile and a half with no cautions or one caution. So like I said before, it'll just be about keeping the car clean and making sure you're there at the end. And then with 10, 15 to go, I'm assuming there's going to be a restart somewhere around there. And so we'll just see where we are, and then I'll probably have a look at the points and see who I need to beat.
All right. Well, before we let you go here tonight, Evan, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, I guess a shout out to all the guys at Outrun Esports, and thanks to you for putting on the good broadcast.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming out, Evan. Congratulations on your win, and hopefully 2 more of those coming your way for the rest of the season.
All right, thanks for having me.
All right, guys. So that was today's winner, the 6 of Evan Rice, and what an emphatic victory that was. And yeah, he's only 1 point off the cutoff line. It needs to be 2 points better than the 21 of Brian Chambliss to get into the top 4. And that's definitely going to make things close. But guys, that is going to be the end of the broadcast. If you're watching this back on the YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're watching this on the Twitch, don't forget, use code OUTPUT at checkout at Champ Speedshop. Get 10% off until 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And until next week, when we go to Martinsville for the final of round number 3 of the playoffs, before we set the top 4, I have been your commentator, the Aussie Sim commentator, and I'll say ciao for now.